Well, Republican rivals faced off for the third GOP primary debate this week. Donald Trump once again skipped the event, but that didn't stop the candidates from clashing. Presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy turned up the heat from the start.
Why should you be the nominee and not the former president?
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party.
Somebody get the Savlon. Joining me to discuss this and more is former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Sean, thanks for joining us. What did you make of the debate, and in particular Vivek Ramaswamy's absolute carpet bombing of the GOP leadership there?
So I think that with respect to Vivek's sort of carpet bombing, as you put it, he probably got some viral clips. I think he did very well online. I think the base that is already with him guaranteed applauded him. I don't think he moved the needle, though. Look, this is all about Iowa right now. I've said this all day today, that the big winner today is Iowa. If you can't get out of Iowa, if you can't defeat Donald Trump in Iowa, the game is over. I used to say the early states, but it's coalesced. It's now literally all about Iowa. Last night, I don't see anyone who moved the needle significantly to affect the caucus goers in Iowa. And just to be clear, every one of these candidates has staked their flag there and saying, if I don't do well in Iowa, I'm out, right? Trump is up right now. The latest poll in Iowa, 43. The next closest two people are Haley and DeSantis at 16. Look, I will say this on a positive note. That was probably the most substantive debate that we've had so far. I got to hear some good issues. I got to hear how these candidates differ from each other on everything from national security to Ukraine funding to TikTok. There was some good substantive discussion last night. I will give credit to that. But did it matter? And the answer is no.
Well, so then what kind of game then is somebody like, say, Vivek Ramaswamy playing here when he just comes out and does this very combative routine? Now, as you say, it's really entertaining to watch. The grabs are fantastic. You know, like my Twitter was blowing up with them yesterday. But I'll tell you what, you've got to wonder, where does this guy go? Does he want a spot in a Trump administration? What does he think? Because he's an interesting guy, he's a smart guy, but he's kind of all over the map, and he's also been accused of being, you know, a bit of a weather vane with wherever a certain segment of the GOP is.
That's right. Look, I think he might be the only person that is actually looking for a spot in a Trump administration. No one else on that. Everyone keeps saying, is this an audition for vice president? You tell me, after what you saw the last couple debates, you think Donald Trump wants Chris Christie or Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley? Absolutely not. And I don't think that they share that feeling. I don't think they disagree with that feeling. They don't want to be part of a Trump administration. Vivek might be different. But at the end of the day, here's what I'll tell you. Nobody runs for president to be something else. I think Vivek thinks, you know, for those folks who follow NASCAR, I think he's drafting. His idea is, I'm going to talk nice about the former president, his base, the policies he supported, in the hope that by saying I'm Trump without the lawsuits, that if Trump were to have some kind of stumble or fall, he would be the legitimate heir apparent. That's what he's doing. You notice he's the only one that's not going after Trump. He's actually saying, I want to be like Trump. I just don't have the baggage and the lawsuits.
Now, who else, though, you know, to get beyond Vivek, who else stuck out for you? Who were the winners of this debate, and what were the interesting things that came out? I thought, you mentioned Chris Christie before, I thought what he had to say about TikTok was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I think what he said about TikTok was great. I think what he said about the 300-ship Navy, that question from Hugh Hewitt, I don't think it was necessarily, I know Hugh was looking for a number in that question, but how Christie handled that issue was really smart. He talked about the strategic need of submarines in the Indo-Pacific as a check against China and any aggression they might have towards Taiwan. That was brilliantly answered. I just think that he has cast his die already. People they think he is on a kamikaze mission to go after Trump. That being said, I think if Ron DeSantis had not gotten the endorsement of the very popular governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds, then everybody this morning would have been talking about the performance of Nikki Haley and whether she is the person that everyone needs to coalesce around.
Talk us through that, because what stuck out for you about Nikki Haley's performance?
I think she just sounded, how she talked about national security, she sounded presidential. I think people wanted to talk, wanted somebody serious. She talked about the reality of addressing the issue of abortion and life in a way that is reasonable and strategically smart, right? To say that you want a 15-week ban, but know that you can't get it through the United States Senate is misleading at best. And Nikki, I think, got up there and talked in a very strategically smart way, a way that for a lot of donors and never Trumpers, they said, I could take that. I could be part of that. She has the resume as a governor and a former UN ambassador to make people feel at ease that she's ready to step into the presidency. I think the way and the tone that she talks is something that a lot of people are looking for. So right now, what we're seeing isn't so much that much of a difference in policy. It's a different in tone and style that people are yearning for. They love the Trump policies. They love the Trump achievements. But for a lot of people, they say, I want Trump without the baggage. I want Trump without the attacks.